Paranormal. Overtones.
Hello and welcome to Paranormal Overtones and the first in our About That series. Tonight we're going to be looking at our most recent investigation and I am joined by our cohort-in-chief, Craig.
Hello.
So, if you've not watched already, go and do that. Most recent investigation was a random lane near Congleton in Cheshire. Didn't go there expecting much. It's kind of all come about from social media hype in the last couple of years. But we went anyway just to kind of get our eyes back in. 2026, new year, new us, new material, and we just wanted to go and basically get an investigation under our belt. So yeah, go and watch that if you've not already, and then come back and listen to us churn on about it. If you have already watched, then we'll get straight into it. So, initial thoughts, Craig, about when we got there.
I think your thoughts would be more interested than mine.
Well, it was a road.
It
wasn't really
was
much
a
to think
road
about.
in the middle of nowhere, which is just places you like to take me, which is weird.
That's wrong.
Yes, and that. Yeah, and there was, some stuff going on that doesn't completely make sense. I've still not wrapped my head around all of it, but
Now,
I'm sure there's a normal reason for it happening.
oh, absolutely. I'm sure there is. So it's been, what is it, 10 days now since we did the investigation. So I've been racking my brain about possible things. Obviously, you get caught up in it and it's like, wow. But then you kind of think, well, okay, was it or wasn't it? And I did message Craig a few days after we'd done the investigation. If you follow us on socials, you've probably seen my reaction to that. So we used something that we've used before is the EMF meter. We do pull that out pretty much every time we do go out. We've never really had anything on that previously, had we? When we've reviewed footage on the Marbury Park investigation, there was a bit of a strange spike when we reviewed it, which we might actually go back and see if we can't recreate that. But I don't recall us ever having anything, certainly not anything borderline intelligent by response, do you?
No, it was a bit odd that it only seemingly happened when you asked a question.
Yeah.
Whether or not that was just there was something nearby, like a pylon or something that could have been interfering with it. But yeah, it was very odd. I'll give you that it was responding as you asked a question.
Yeah, well, I mean, we did the standard, didn't we? We did the baseline tests, and as we were walking down the road towards the tunnel where seemingly everything was happening with regards to the EMF meter, it didn't blink once, did it? Once it did its boot up cycle, it literally stayed dead, for want of a better word.
Yeah.
So there is the potential that with it being an aqueduct, maybe there is something funky going on with us being technically underwater. Maybe.
Yeah. That could have been a contributing factor. It was very odd though that it was only in the one spot. It wasn't like constant whilst you were like in and around that tunnel. It was just in that one spot.
Well, yeah, it was the one spot's pretty much smack in the middle of the tunnel, and then that one spot which wasn't actually under the tunnel. That was just the side of it, wasn't it?
A meter, 2 meters outside of it.
Yeah. So we had a few seemingly intelligent responses, and one actually did respond when I said about doing an EVP session with it, which if you've just stumbled upon us and you've not really watched or listened to anything paranormal before, EVP's electronic voice phenomena, and it's basically trying to capture a disembodied voice using a recording device. So in our instance, that's an digital dictaphone. So we got to the point where we seemed to be getting these intelligent responses. I asked whether they wanted to speak to us, and it seemed as though we had an instant response, which even caught me a little bit off guard with my reaction and response to that. But lo and behold, as we've had before when we've attempted to do EVPs, we've got the dictaphone out, we've asked some questions, we've spoken out loud, and literally you've just heard my dulcet tones coming back through the dictaphone speaker. So that was a bit of a dampener on what seemed to be a good kickstart to what we were doing, essentially. Said right at the start, weren't expecting anything at all from this little country lane in the middle of nowhere, where we'd had homophobic slurs slung at us when we'd pulled up, which was a novelty. Apparently,
Yes, they came back.
Yeah, they did. What I didn't realise until the day of the investigation was apparently this road isn't just favoured by potential paranormal things, it is favoured by people that may be wanting to go and create life as well. To put it in a diplomatic way. Yeah. So, yeah, to have that seeming response come through on the EMF, I really wasn't expecting that at all. As you said, maybe there was something like pylon based or underground cables. There isn't really much out there though, is there? It's like the nearest properties were at least half a mile in either direction down the lane.
Yeah, it wasn't as if we had buildings around us. As I say, I've not studied in great detail the map, but there could have been a pylon nearby. I'm not 100% sure without looking at Google Maps again. But yeah, as I say, it was just odd that the couple of spots seem to be reacting. Yeah, other than a pylon, I can't seemingly come up with a reasonable explanation as to why it was happening, because we ruled out it being us.
Yep.
There was nothing on us that was triggering it, so yeah,
Yeah.
very strange.
No, it's a bit weird, because obviously, like, we sweep over ourselves before we start to use it. So again, harking back to Marbury, I ended up with your phone, didn't I? Because we were doing lives on socials at the time, so we ended up using your phone for the microphone input, and swept over that with it. Didn't really respond. Over some of the gear, it reacts to the microphones when you get pretty close. Doesn't really react to my body cam that I wear, and reacts a little bit to the camera. But this was like it was spiking, wasn't it? Essentially, it was spiking up to the midpoint on the actual meter itself, but only when we were asking questions.
Yeah, but yeah, it was only the middle of the bar, so it wasn't strong.
I think, if I remember rightly, when I was editing the video, I think you said at one point it did spike to red.
Yeah,
But
I think there was one instance where it jumped right up to red, but it was literally a brief second, and then it stopped.
Yeah, so it was a fairly consistent level, and consistently in one spot, well, two spots. So I think, as much as it bugs me from the wanting to go ha viewpoint, and as much as it'll bug you from the not knowing viewpoint,
Mm-hmm.
I think we've got to file that bit in the unexplained
Yeah,
drawer.
I think what could be interesting is to go back and just see if we could recreate it in the exact same spot. Because I think if we did that, then we could rule it out as say, no, there's something interfering in these spots. The fact
Yeah.
that it didn't move around with us, the fact that it was in just two places, that to me screams there's something somewhere that's interfering with them two spots specifically.
Hmm. And that would make sense. And if we
Yeah.
can, like say, if we can replicate it, then we can self-debunk like we seek to do. If we can't even get a light flash going on, then it just further exacerbates the unexplained nature of it. But yeah, no, I agree that could be interesting to actually go and do, and especially, did we do it at a similar time of day, or do we do it at a completely different time of day? That would be the other thing as well, wouldn't it? Because I mean, you could keep going back and back and back. So I think that's something we will need to do, is we go back same time of night, same day even maybe, and see if we can get anything. Again, avoiding getting run over, especially by people terracing down a lane in a 4x4.
Yeah, it would be weird if they came back a second time as well.
Maybe they are the ghosts. You never know. I don't think the Hilux they were in were quite that old, but
No.
it is possible. But that wasn't the be all and end all. Otherwise, we wouldn't have bothered recording a podcast to talk over our thoughts on what we'd experienced. So, something that we have had for a while is dowsing rods. I was initially going to use them for an investigation that I failed on last year. Don't go into creepy Welsh woods on your own, because you will get chased down by people screaming at you like a banshee whilst they're absolutely stark bollock naked.
Or if you do, make sure you've got a proper camera in your hand so you can record this.
I had bigger fish to fry in my mind at the time,
Get
dude.
out the car, camera on, walk. The moment you see it, point at it, then run the fuck away.
Yeah, no.
Coward.
Fact, I still get bollocked by my other half for going back, having dropped all the camera equipment back off, to make sure that that was all safe. And the fact that I went back with just a torch and my phone, before deciding, no, fuck this is a little bit too risky. I still get it in the neck, and it's been like 7 months, dude. So, yeah. But anyway, we digress. So yeah, got the dowsing rods and was originally meant to use them there because it was like this whole spiritual thing. So I decided to take them out with us when we went to Congleton the other week. I will hold my hands up 100% and say I don't really have a clue on how they're supposed to work and how we're meant to use them, but I have seen them used before, so thought it would be pretty cool to give them a whirl. We followed the same track as we did with the EMF on the way back, on the way down, sorry, to the tunnel from where we'd parked, and they didn't really do anything, did they? They literally were just jolting around with the footsteps on the way down.
Yeah. Wasn't until we got to that one spot again.
Exactly. So on the far side of the tunnel, where the EMF had been going off, they seemed to not come alive. I'm not gonna like get all hyperbolic with it.
The metal rods, Mike.
Well, yes, they are inanimate fucking objects, to quote in Bruges, but yeah, they seemed, again, like the EMF, they seemed to start reacting to what we were saying, didn't they?
Yeah, seemingly.
I did preface that by saying seemingly. I didn't
Yeah.
go. They did.
Yeah, and I'm just reinforcing seemingly. Yes. I have my hesitations about it.
Yeah. So they seem to be reacting and responding to what we were saying. So before we get into all that, obviously we do speak outside of doing things for paranormal overtones. So I just dropped Craig a message on occasion when you're deciding that you want to be sociable. So I dropped Craig a message and just sort of said, now you've had time to think, what did you think about the other night? And if you follow us on socials, you will have seen my reaction, like I said to you before. And basically, the dowsing rods started to move, like I say, seemingly in response to what we were saying. And one of Craig's hypotheses was, what was it?
It was to do with wind, Mike, because there was an ever so slight breeze in that tunnel. So it was feasible that it could have been a little breeze was pushing the rods every now and again, and it just so happened to coincide with when we speak.
Yes. So
Spitballing.
It was a bit of a spitball. I took this comment to heart, so having read that message, I went and grabbed out my lovely, powerful fan that I have for cleaning my computer, and also an anemometer, which is used to measure temperature and wind speed, and got my other half to stand there with the dowsing rods. And to get the dowsing rods to even start to move would require a wind speed of 12.1 meters per second, which I'm not 100% sure on the conversion to miles per hour, but I can safely say that the breeze that was coming through the tunnel was not 12.1 meters per second. I pointed the fan at my face and my hair went everywhere, and I'm pretty confident at no point in the filming was my hair strewn all over the place.
It converts to about 27 miles an hour.
20, yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you that. It wasn't going 27 miles an hour.
No.
You'd have heard heard it on the microphones.
Exactly. It's I mean, we've been having that, haven't we, the last couple of days? It's been quite gusty, to say the least, where we live. And that's been tracking between 30 and 40. And yeah, that I would say there possibly would have been like 4 or 5 miles per hour. It was a really gentle breeze, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it definitely wasn't 27. Definitely not. But that was only one hypothesis. The other hypothesis that you did level, and I can kind of get on board a little bit with it, was with regards to hand movement, wasn't it?
Yep. Yeah, and how sensitive they were to movement. Because even though I can hand on heart say I wasn't moving the rods, my hand wasn't touching the actual rod, it was holding the handles. I could feel it every now and again. The bottom would brush against my hand as it was turning, and you could feel like there was some form of force making the rod move. But I put it down to the fact that even though we're holding them and we're trying to hold them as still as we possibly can, the slightest movement could have been causing them to sort of rotate.
Yeah.
Just because of the weight of the long bit, it sort of outweighs the little tiny bit at the bottom.
Yeah, I can kind of get that. I think there is some argument there that it doesn't even need to be a conscious movement. So when we were actually recording, I made a point of asking whatever seemed to be communicating possibly with us, whether they wanted Craig to use the dowsing rods instead. And I think it was just the one, wasn't it? I think it was the one closest to you, just slowly and kind of eerily decided to point at you square in the chest. So I was quite happy that we then got Craig using them, because obviously if just I use them, then it's a bit, well, people are going to think it's a bit suspect, aren't they? At the end of the day, it's the whole yin yang approach that we've taken to things. Craig is the full-blown skeptic, non-believer, me as the open-minded one. If they start crossing over and fucking spinning round on command, then if they're in my hands, it's a damn sight less believable than it is if they're in Craig's hands. We asked a few questions, and like we say, we did seem to get some answers back. There seemed to be, if there was something interacting, then it desperately wanted you to go up them stairs on your own.
And it desperately wanted you to fucking leave.
Well, yeah. So there was a bit of a back and forth where it was both of us sort of talking, but then I kind of took the lead, and it's like, okay, so what do you want? And one would point to Craig. I think it actually kept on hitting you in the chest, and it just below your microphone. Did. And then
every
the other
time
one,
you outstretch your arms, nope, straight back to me.
And the other one would point at a set of stairs which lead up to the canal, which were just behind and to my right. And then it's like, okay, so you want Craig to go up those stairs, but what about me? And it was just one, just kept on doing virtually a 180, didn't it? It just kept on going right round and pointing back down the tunnel.
Yeah.
So this went on for 2-3 minutes.
Oh yeah, easily.
Until it was like, right, well, that's not happening. Craig's not going up there on his Todd. I'm not leaving. What do you want us to do? At which point, both of them then decided to point down the tunnel, didn't they? It's like, okay, maybe that's our cue. Maybe that's you telling us that we both need to go now. You're bored of playing games with copper sticks in the middle of the night. But I think even you being skeptic, non-believer, I think even you are potentially open to the possibility of things subconsciously. When maybe it did move because of perfectly timed 5-mile-an-hour breeze with a minuscule subconscious hand movement was what made it move as much as it did in the first instance, maybe then that was then imparted into your brain, and it's like very minuscule. You know, like how you hear about FBI agents like reviewing really macro footage of interviews to see like minuscule face movements and stuff on suspects.
Yeah.
Maybe it was kind of an anatomic version of that, and it was actually minuscule hand movements, and maybe just like adjusting grip or like the height of your shoulders or something like that would have contributed. And the same with me when I was in possession of them as well. But it did seem to be more when it was with you.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I think they are things that we definitely need to be taking out with us more going forward, until such time as we go, yeah, these are a pile of crap. It is just literally not doing anything. I think they are definitely ones to explore and try and figure out a bit more, to be honest. It's everything paranormal falls well under the umbrella of pseudoscience, and I think dowsing rods are the most pseudoscience of pseudoscience, and they could be interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, as I say, as you keep saying, I'm the skeptic. I don't believe in this stuff. I am open-minded to the fact that I will happily be proven wrong. But yeah, I just believe that the slightest micro movement with your hands was the cause of them turning round.
But we will see. We will see what happens going forward.
Oh, definitely.
So, but yeah, all in all, we arrived. I mean, if you want to know the exact location, it's Watery Lane near Asbury in Congleton. We arrived expecting note, literally note, and both went away with questions, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
So it was well worth it. As much as, like I say, it was just a blow the cobwebs off exercise for us. Just to get back out with the gear. You've seen outtakes in the past of when we've not been out for a couple of months, what can happen when we're in the middle of a dialogue and someone turns the camera off halfway through it.
Didn't
Or
happen this time. Nearly did.
yeah. Or, oh, yeah, we've not plugged the microphone into the camera. Congratulations, you're a pair of idiots. It was mainly about that. It was mainly about just getting back out there, getting back acquainted with the equipment. And I really, honestly, was surprised at what we potentially did get, which is always a nice thing to be able to say. How much of that would stand up to full-blown scientific scrutiny? Who knows? That's not what we're here for. We're here as hobbyists at the end of the day. Here is a couple of mates that have alternating views on this and basically both want answers. Just at different sides of the coins, essentially. So from that, I think it was a couple of hours well spent, to be honest.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. As I say, I'd happily go back there and just try and debunk a bit further what was going on.
Apology to that.
By all means.
So, but no, yeah, that was the investigation. If you have been a bit naughty and you've just listened to the podcast without going off and watching the YouTube video, then I would suggest you go and do it. Personally, I would say it's possibly the best one that we've had. There was a slight issue with the audio where it does slightly desync, which really frustrated me, having stayed up till 4 o'clock in the morning editing the footage. But aside from that, the actual content, I don't think we've matched before. And we've not even covered off the random weird noise that I thought was a whoosh at the time, but when I've gone back to edit, it was actually like a clanking noise. Have you spotted that? Where I put the really subtle noise tags on the video.
I listened to it, but I mean, I turned my headset right the way up, and I couldn't make out what it was.
No, it wasn't drips though. That was the thing, because you could hear the drips, and it was just and it didn't, like you say, it didn't match anything that we'd experienced at all at any point in the night.
It wasn't out of the blue. It sounded like a car's coming behind us.
Everything we experienced that night, that was the most like anxious I felt. It's like a pair of headlights literally going to be lighting us up in like 2 seconds time here or something. But comfortably, I think it was possibly one of the most enjoyable that we've done, and definitely the most engaging and exciting video that we've put up in the time that we've been doing this.
Yeah, definitely. It was worth coming back for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
The first of many.
Exactly. As I was just about to lead into, like we've said at the start, we are going to be out and about more in 2026. We realise that we've kind of dropped the ball. Unfortunately, we do both have lives, jobs, all that malarkey. But we have kind of entered a gentleman's agreement that we are going to be doing a minimum of one a month. There will be more than likely scattered around, whether we go out and do solo ones. I think it'd be quite interesting to see a Craig-led solo investigation, personally. But
you're a bit crazy.
Yeah, we've got loads of stuff in the pipeline, loads of research being done. Both books are being filled out with many, many, many random facts and historical notes so that my brain can start to absorb them. We have invested in some protective gear for ourselves because we're going to be going into some sketchy places at certain points through the year. We have stuff mapped out as far ahead as September because of specific dates and stuff that things are meant to happen. And you're not even aware of this now, so this is breaking news. I've even invested in a REM pod, which is winging its way to us. Well, you say oh dear, but it's like we've said before, more than willing and like open to testing stuff out. If it's a pile of crap, then we can do like the lads at Ghost Theory do and literally use it as a security device. And then if we are in abandoned buildings and stuff, we can get a heads up. So on the unlikely account that Elliot and Joe listen to this, thanks for the heads up, lads.
We could do with the security.
But yeah, so that's on its way to us. So that's another new gadget to mess around with. And yeah, even down to the fact we're going a bit further afield. We're spreading our wings. We're not staying comfortable and content within Cheshire. We might even go as far as Stoke. You never know.
Oof, a bit far that.
Yeah, yeah, nosebleed going that far south. So yeah, 2026 is hopefully going to be a big year for us here at Paranormal Overtones, and we really do hope that you guys will obviously join us and come along for the journey with us as well. But for now, as always, I've been Mike. That idiot over there has been Craig.
Thanks. See ya.
Yeah, I was wondering what you were going to sign off with. We've been
polite.
Paranormal. Oh, you're being polite, are you? We've been Paranormal Overtones. Have a good night. Cheers, guys.